Hello there, welcome in the latest edition of the SAU Baseball Coaches Show. I'm Daniel Gallegos, joined alongside by head baseball coach Justin Pettigrew. Coach, we're here in this Coaches Show, and as we talked about last week, starting to really build some momentum with your club. Had a winning streak going then. It is still here. A three-game sweep over the past weekend in conference play at Southern Nazarene, and some very cold conditions, not fun to play some baseball in. And then even midweek, you go on the road again and play Texas A&M, Texarkana, first ever meeting against those guys. Their second year of playing. Last year they had over 30 wins, so a solid program they're trying to build there. Take us through the last handful of games. It's now an 8-game winning streak. Your team is at the top of the Great American Conference standings. Let's go through that 3-game sweep of Southern Naz.
First off, going over to Southern Naz, one of those things when you're dealing with weather as coaches, you don't really know what to do. You just try to put yourself in a position where you're going to be able to play. Moved our series to Sunday, Monday, ended up where we probably should have played Friday, Saturday, but when you're looking at it and it says 90 to 100% chance of rain on Saturday, you want to give your athletes the best chance to play the games. And ended up in some cold weather like you were talking about. I think we got off the bus to take BP on Monday, and I looked at my phone, and I think the wind chill was like 27 or something like that. So it was a little chilly, but both teams, of course, had to go through it and play in it. Our guys did a really good job of responding and offensively doing what we needed to do. And, of course, didn't get great starting pitching from Wells, but, back end Schroeder coming in and cleaning up game one. And then, we had some big knocks offensively. It's kind of hard to go through the lineup and talk about everybody, but really it was a team effort. Cortland McPherson, of course, stands out, hitting 2 home runs on the day, and then actually was robbed of a 3rd home run, and then his 4th swing was to the warning track. So he got off some good swings. Trevanian, Page, Blake Hall, really you go Trevor Rucker, Richardson, you go through our lineup all the way, and guys had good days. And then, of course, Algene in Game 2 comes out and does what he's done all year long. Gives us a solid outing. Is able to bridge us to Game 3 where, Tabor does a great job. Actually had one of his better outings, I felt like. Struggled, a little bit. They did some things, bunting, and we, didn't handle, the plays that we needed to. Kind of got us in a little bit of a jam one inning, but really he worked himself out of it and did a good job. And then some guys finished up the game on the mound, did what they're supposed to do, and of course our offense took over from there.
And there's always those cliches going into it. When you looked at it on paper, they should have been surefire wins if you just looked at wins and losses in their record. 1 win on the year for Southern Nazarene coming in. But in that first game, you get up 4-0, then they come right back and tie at 4-4. They even take the lead. You eventually come back and win convincingly in the first game. And then Game 3 of the series, they jump out on top. But again, it was another fight back, and you win rather convincingly in that 3rd one. Talk about that against a team where, again, on paper, probably should beat, but your guys had to go out and they had to overcome maybe a struggle of a start, and to get the outcome that they did. Talk through that and what you like seeing out of that and them competing.
You love seeing the competition come out in our guys. The competitive nature, of course, you don't want to be down, but you also want to kind of see how your team's going to respond if they ever do get down. Wins and losses really in our conference, like we talked about last week, they don't matter a whole lot. When you go on the road, there's, obviously going to be a tough setting first off, and then there's not going to be an easy weekend in our conference. That's just the way it is. We beat up on each other. The competition gets better every single year. But I was pleased with the way our guys responded. Had a little bit of adversity. Like I said, didn't get the best start from Wells, which of course he'll get the ball again this weekend and try to better what he did last weekend. But our offense did a good job of not panicking when the other team came back, and they just stuck to the process, went about their business, and of course Schroeder came in and did what he's supposed to do and kept them there and allowed our offense to chip away and of course put the game away.
You talked about your offensive production throughout that weekend, even going back to the midweek earlier in that week. Come out of it with another GAC Player of the Week. This one was Blake Hall, a redshirt freshman, local kid from Magnolia. He's been with the program 2 years. This is his first year playing for the Muleriders. He's your leadoff hitter. As a freshman, more or less, first time out there. He's been impressive. Average is high up there near 400, particularly this past week. A lot of extra base hits. Highlight a little bit on Hall and what he's done solidifying the top of that order.
Early in the year, it's one of those, like you said, putting a freshman at the leadoff spot. Didn't really know how he was going to handle it. Of course, through the fall and our inter squads leading up to, playing outside competition, did a great job. but you just never know when you see the other color jersey show up what's going to happen. Struggled just a little bit there for, first couple of games, I guess, and then of course had a big game against Washburn. And really from there, he's set the tone for us, done a great job. Blake works extremely hard, whether it's in the weight room or at practice or even on his own time. Does a lot to work on his personal development as far as making sure he maximizes his development, gets as many swings as he can, works toward his approach. He's done a really good job setting the table for us, being a run producer, being able to not only hit some doubles and do some things, steal some bases for us, and of course play a good center field.
We'll talk about the midweek game this past week. You finally get a chance to play Texas A&M Texarkana. You go there, still haven't played the home game with them yet. That's later on, rescheduled for the third time in April. But you go there, you play them. We talked about they're just in their second year of existence playing. The last year, their inaugural year, over 30 wins. Expecting good competition out of that, but then also too midweek games. It's I always tell people you really never know what you're going to get.
Right.
You kind of hope that you've got the pitching depth to get through and make it a well played game. And offensively, again, your team played well, and it was really a game all three facets. Pitching, Hunter Vasquez in the start, a little rough at the beginning, then he settled down, went for a ways, a couple of relievers. Offensively, first three innings, no hits, nobody got on. The guy was throwing a perfect game in a sense at that point, and then you explode afterwards after that. And defensively, so all three facets. Talk about that game and what you pull out of it going into the coming weekend.
Like you said, Hunter did a good job bouncing back from the start that he had against LSU Shreveport, where, of course, he didn't do as well as we would have liked him or as well as he would have liked. He's a guy that's really hard on himself, and he worked extremely hard to get the ball back on Tuesday. We wanted to put him back out there in a situation, give him a chance to prove himself a little bit. It was a little rocky the first, couple innings, and then he really settled in. I thought he did a really good job of mixing his pitches, being able to throw multiple pitches for strikes, keeping the ball down in the zone, keeping him off balance a little bit, and letting his defense play for him. And as you said, there were 4, 5, 6 plays throughout that game that our defense made that were great plays. Trevanian makes a great play going back, basically diving, over his head and making a great play. Great plays up the middle, corner infielders, things like that. And, of course, you end the game with a play like Michael Page made. We've seen over and over from him, but it's always nice to see, especially capping out, finishing off that game. And then offensively, like, we talked about earlier, they stuck to their approach. The guy did a good job the first time through the lineup. We made some adjustments the second time through the lineup. Stuck to our approach, did what we do. Blake, again, gets off a great swing, gets a home run to center. Rucker base hit to left. Richardson hits an absolute missile out of the yard. I'd love to see the exit speed on that thing. And all of a sudden we're up 3-2, and now we've got things rolling a little bit. And actually probably should have continued the inning a little farther. We had the bases loaded, 2 outs, hit a ball down the right field line that was clearly fair that for some reason got called foul that cost us a couple runs. But we were able to overcome that. And like I said, Hunter did a great job, and then the offense carried on. And really, you talk about a guy like McPherson that had the night that he had and the weekend that he had before. He's really seeing the ball well. Hopefully that continues into this weekend.
We'll spin that forward to this weekend, another Great American Conference Series coming up. Slight adjustments with Southwestern Oklahoma coming in. We're going to play the doubleheader on Friday starting at 3, and then a single game on Saturday at 1 instead of the single game on Friday and the double on Saturday. So a little change there, but Southwestern Oklahoma, they were a team last year that at the top of the conference, making postseason play, all of that. They're coached well. They're a scrappy bunch. They're always at the top of the conference competing for a conference championship. They come into play here. Your team, obviously, at the spot they're at, 11-1 through 12 games in the GAC, atop the standings. What is kind of the mindset, the approach coming into this weekend, knowing you got a good ball club coming in?
The approach for us really doesn't change. We do know, I've known Zach for a long time, and one thing that we know is they're going to be prepared and they're going to be ready to go, and they're going to give us everything that they've got. We want to still just stick to our approach, go about the game plan, no matter who the opponent is. We need to take care of what we do, take care of the baseball, pitch well, timely hitting, run the bases like we're supposed to. If we do that and stick to the process, we feel like the product will take care of itself. We do know that they're a quality baseball club. Got a little rough last weekend with them with the tarp, no tarp, whatever situation they had in Southeastern. So I know they're going to have a little bit of a chip on the shoulder wanting to play, and that was something I talked to Zach about coming in this weekend and making sure we get the games in. That's why we moved the doubleheader to Friday with the chance of rain on Saturday. Good thing is we have lights, so we'll be able to stick around as long as we need to on Saturday to make sure we get them all in, but hopefully we don't have to worry about that.
We're looking very much forward to it again this upcoming weekend. Mulerider's back at home at Walker Stadium. Goodhart Field, a 3-game series against Southwestern Oklahoma. Again, as we mentioned, the doubleheader will be played Friday this weekend. First pitch starting at 3, 9, and then a 7-inning game that night, and then concluding the series with the scheduled first pitch for 1 p.m. on Saturday. Coach, we appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thanks a lot, Daniel.